Mr. Palmer.
Hey, what's up?
This is people. You don't have to adjust your pictures or anything. We are really in the same room,
Yeah, we're at the annual Jim and John meetup.
which once a year we get to
Okay.
actually be in the same place at the same time. And I swear we're not that important that they don't want to risk it. At least I don't think.
I don't know. Who knows why they?
I don't know. It's just the way it works, folks. But we are indeed in Phoenix for WLPC 2024. You're not seeing things. I mean, you are, but you're not imagining this. This is real, and it's actually really late. It's almost 10 o'clock Monday, the night of check-in for the main conference, and Jim and I are sitting here in my classroom having a chat because we needed to record an episode for tomorrow morning.
Yeah. So let's see. Registrations tonight. If you've never been to WLPC, registration's almost an event in and of itself. It's you end up seeing people that you haven't seen in a year, sometimes 2 years. So it's kind of it's an event in and of itself. There's food trucks, there's music, there's drinks. It's a whole big thing. So it's always a crazy night on check-in. But it's kind of weird because for you, like you were doing the boot camp, so you've been in this room for 3 days now.
Yep, this has been my home away from home away from home. So I've been here since Friday. I've been in this room since Saturday, and I will be in this room until Wednesday.
Yeah.
So who's counting?
Except tomorrow, is the start of the conference, so we're going to you won't spend the morning in this room. You'll be in a much bigger room with a whole bunch of other people who've come in literally from all around the world. I've talked to people today from Australia, Norway, Finland,
New York.
New York. Yeah, I guess we'll throw you in there.
I was thinking about somebody else, but my old coworker.
Oh, yeah. So lots of people from all over the United States, Canada. We had a nice argument at lunch today. Was it lunch? About poutine, pizza, and Philly cheesesteaks.
And New York bagels.
Which is a whole other topic. But anyway, it's kind of a fun event. And so tomorrow is the start of day one. And so if you're watching this on Tuesday,
We're sorry you're not here.
Sorry you're not here.
Or maybe you are.
Possibly.
That'd be kind of weird. That's like Inception, isn't it?
I don't know. But
off the rails in 3 minutes.
Yes. So that's tomorrow, and then tomorrow afternoon you start your deep dive back in this room.
No pressure.
No pressure.
So if you're hearing any hum of routers or switches, that's why, because we've already prepped for the class. That was our afternoon fun, trying to make sure that will actually go smoothly. So thank you, sir, again.
Well, but I also spent most of the day on the whiteboard behind us. Go ahead and doing some schooling of the class. I did a bunch of whiteboard work for the boot camp attendees, which is one of the, can we call it an unspoken or an unwritten benefit, or is it a punishment that I show up for this?
I think it's been a pretty cool perk the last 2 years at WLPC 2023 and 2024. I've been fortunate enough to teach the RCWA. I would love, and my goal is to hopefully have, whether at Prague in 2024 or next year in Phoenix in 2025, even more partners join us. But that's a subject for another day. But I've been fortunate to do it, but I've been even luckier to have Mr. Palmer come in. He comes in early to prep for his own class, but he's been kind enough to grace us with his presence, with some guest lectures, and it always goes over well. It went over well last year. It went over so well this year. My class was effectively done. And stayed late just to talk to Jim. They didn't stay late, but they stayed later than they had to just to talk to and with and listen to Jim talk. So that's you're an incredible resource for Ruckus, and I thank you for that. So,
but it's also fun to, and this is what's great about WLPC is the great part is you sit around and you have these conversations. You get to talk to people who you don't normally give the opportunity to talk to. Like I spent a little bit of time this morning talking to somebody from one of our competitors. You probably would know his name if I said it, but I'm not. So sorry. But
I don't think he'll be offended. He probably is not a listener.
He's not a listener, but we'll just keep that. We'll just keep that part down. But it's always fun because you have these conversations. You get to talk about it, things that you've always wanted to know about. Like at registration, I was talking with one of our SEs, and we broke down power spectral density because he was like, oh yeah, he's like, can you help me understand that? And it's like, yeah, sure. So I just grabbed a scratch piece of paper, we broke it down. But
It was not just one scratch piece. I think you went through about 3 to get through all that DB math.
Well, yeah, but I also did drawings.
Okay, well,
So I
did a drawing
Well-
too. Does that count? It was a stick figure.
I didn't see that one,
Yeah,
but anyway, so that's the fun part about WLPC is you get to meet and have these conversations and talk to people. So
And speaking of WLPC and fun, we might as well just get right into it, right? I mean, so at this point, you'll watch this Tuesday. Hopefully, you'll watch
Yes.
this live. But so we did something crazy in December, and
it wasn't that crazy.
it was a little bit out of our comfort zones considering what we like to do.
True.
But it was something different. And full disclosure, now that we're basically on the cusp of it, it was also in preparation for this. And this is, we have a vendor session on Wednesday evening at, I'm going to forget what time it is,
So let's see.
6:15?
No, I'm trying to figure out what today is.
It
Today's
is Monday,
well,
the 19th.
The 19th. So Wednesday,
The 21st.
The 21st at 6:15 is when we get the room. But it's
I
probably
would say 6:30.
6:30. Which we're going to try. So it's 6:30, and now at 6:30, what time zone are we in?
Mountain.
We're in Mountain Time. So
Aren't
six,
we? Isn't it the same time as yours?
same time. Well,
You didn't change your times, did you?
I didn't change my time.
So it's your time zone. You should know.
Now, but in a month from now, it actually be in a different time zone because Arizona doesn't follow daylight savings.
Yeah, they're
so anyway,
rebels.
so Wednesday, February 21st at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time, which is going to be 5:30 p.m. Pacific, and then so it'll be 7:30 Central, 8:30 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Yeah, my phone's blowing up. It's been blowing up all day, and I'm
That
just
was just
ignoring
one of
it.
those kids outside.
Yeah, no,
but
we are going to do our vendor session, and our vendor session we're going to do something a little different this year.
you're bringing out a new AP, aren't you?
We're
Going to do a live stream. I had to get to it.
We're going to live stream our vendor session. Jim, that's me, and John, that's you. I mean, look,
Nice to meet you.
yes,
Holy
look,
cow.
Look, this is just how WLPC works, everybody.
And we haven't had anything to. Well, I haven't had anything to drink.
I did.
Okay. Well,
We are going to live stream our vendor session, so you can tune in live on the. Are we doing it on YouTube?
we'll throw it up on YouTube. We'll throw it up wherever we want to throw it up on.
Do a lot of throwing up.
No,
And-
that's Thursday. And we'll live
So
stream the heck out of it.
if you've ever wondered what a vendor session looks like at WLPC, what WLPC is about, tune in Wednesday or watch it recorded. It'll be up there later, and we're going to talk with the people at WLPC, and we're going to talk about Wi-Fi. And we're not even quite sure what we're going to talk about beyond that.
The best thing you need to know about it is we have no agenda, so what's the worst that could happen live? Complete and utter train wreck. We wouldn't have it any other way. But so it'll be fun. We wanted to do something a little bit different, and we were trying to keep it under wraps for a litany of reasons. But we're here, which is why we've got the camera on a nice stand. We've got the nice microphone. You can't see it, but the podcast setup traveled with me from New York. And so this is sort of it's only half setup. We're going to do the full setup on Wednesday. We might even put on tuxes. No, we're not really putting on tuxes, but it'll be fun. I've been kind of looking forward to it. I think now that we're we're less than 48 hours from it, it's becoming mildly terrifying.
Terrifying, yep.
Yeah, a little
Terrifying is the word.
Because the unfortunate luck, we tried to get a session tomorrow night and couldn't, and we were basically going to be running from our 2 deep dives with gear to set up for a vendor session that happens right after our deep dives. No pressure. None of this matters to anybody watching, but it's just part of the chaos and the fun that happens at WLPC in general. You're always running around. There's always something to do. I swear I'm not on vacation, even though I'm not home.
That is something let's talk about, because WLPC, and we say this all the time, but I will give you an example for this morning. I got to breakfast at 7 a.m. Even though classes didn't start until 6:30, I got to breakfast, or 8:30. I got to breakfast at 7 a.m. And we spent an hour talking about 6 gigahertz from 7 a.m. until 8 a.m.
And really and truly, like, you have an excuse to not be up that early because you had no class today.
No.
I mean, I'm not going to.
I got it for the coffee.
Well, but you had no place to be. You were just prepping for your class, and you're getting up early. And these are the conversations we have at WLPC.
Yes.
We had a really good one last night at dinner. Same idea.
Let's see, it's 10 o'clock at night, and the reason why it's this late is because we were down at the registration reception, and let's see, we talked about some 6 gigahertz, we talked about power spectral density, we talked about AIRM, yeah, so that's 10 o'clock at night, we're having that conversation, and so, for people who think that's a vacation, it is if you have a really twisted sense of idea of what a vacation should be, but it is and can be just an ultimate learning experience. You see these people that write all the guides. You see these people that are, it's like, man, this is the person who knows some of this stuff just cold. And they're sitting at the next table over. They're standing there. You can go up and talk to them. You can ask these questions. You can say, hey, I heard you talk about this 6 months ago. Can we talk about it more? And everybody here is always so gracious with their time that it's like, yeah, you come for the presentations that we're going to start tomorrow. The deep dives are cool. You get a lot of cool gear. You get a lot of cool stuff. But it's really for the ability to have hallway conversations. And I'm hoping that we can bring some of that to you as well, but we'll see how that works out tomorrow.
We've been having these big plans, and full disclosure, our initial plan was we were going to record this last night, and class ran late. We decided to have dinner. Honestly, the dinner was worth it. It was well worth it, and it wasn't even. I mean, it was good food, but it was good. It was better company. You can't have much of an agenda other than the actual agenda because the simple fact is. You don't know who you're going to bump into, and you're going to have these random conversations, and they're very, very. You go down rabbit holes very easily here, and it's not like you're in college and you're trying to stay up late and party. It's like you bump into somebody that you don't see that often, maybe once or twice a year at events or something like that, and you have a conversation about, like Jim said, 6 gigahertz, Wi-Fi 7, something, and the next thing you know, it's 2 hours have passed, and you guys are late for dinner. And
well, to give you an example, John and I went to dinner last night, and we said, "Hey, we're just going to go over to this little place that's on property and just get some food real quick because we have stuff we have to do." And on our way heading over there, we bumped into Peter McKenzie, who from CWAP fame. If you've ever done CWAP, if you've ever wanted to do CWAP, if you've ever studied the guide for CWAP, the Certified Wireless Analysis Professional, that guide was written by Peter McKenzie. He is the ultimate resource for doing any of that stuff. Well, it turns out his hotel room is right next door to mine. So we bumped into him last night, and we said, "Hey, Peter, we're going to dinner. Join us if you want." He's like, "I might go to somebody's house." And we said, "This is where we're going to be. Show up." So he did. And so he ended up joining us about 10 minutes after we sat down. And then about literally like a minute after we ordered our food, another gentleman walked in the room named Devin Aiken. Devin Aiken is CWNE #1. And he has a company called Divergent Dynamics. And so Peter waved him over, and so Devin joined us. So our dinner last night was just supposed to be John and I just sort of talking and planning about what we were going to do. It turned out to be, well, you have the guy who wrote the CWAP book and literally the guy who wrote the CWNE. Because originally CWNE was actually a test. And Devin wrote the test.
And the best part about it was we didn't do any planning. We didn't do we just talked. We talked Wi-Fi, but we got 2 new people hooked on the 8200 series potentially.
Yes.
So no small feat.
So yeah, so that's what WLPC is about. Is all of a sudden you have people who, it's like I said, CWNE #1, the guy who wrote the CWAP book, the people and Peter. Well, might as well say this. Peter actually wrote the new Homina or Homina, depending. Homina. They pronounce it Homina. Most of the people in the Western world pronounce it Homina. But Peter wrote a new boot camp. It's a 4-day certification course for Homina, and he wrote it and he taught it for the first time here. And so the guy who writes this stuff shows up at your dinner table and just says, "Hey, can I join you?" I mean, where else does that happen?
And you certainly don't say no.
Yeah, you don't, no. You don't say no when people who write the books and do the presentations say, "Can I join you for dinner?" You say, "Yes, sir." So that's what WLPC is about. So yes, we were supposed to do this last night. We were supposed to do this afternoon. We were supposed to do this earlier tonight. And
Best laid plans.
Best laid plans, but that's WLPC is just like that. So if you can, join us Wednesday night. It might work. It might not.
It should. We pulled it off once before. What's the worst that could happen?
Well, we weren't on a hotel internet that we still haven't even tested.
This has been pretty good, so hopefully we'll just have to make sure Fernay takes care of us.
Okay, then. So
if it works, we'll see you Wednesday night. If it doesn't work, you'll see it on Tuesday
of next week.
It'll be our next episode either way, probably, I think.
Maybe, but yeah, so if you can, and hopefully you join us, and we'll maybe think of something to talk about between now and then.
Oh, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, I'm sure we could bring up some topics from day one of the conference tomorrow. And at that point, any interesting conversations that come up on day two, because we're not talking till the evening of day two. And we might be crazy enough to put out a hashtag or something on Twitter and see if people want to ask social media. I mean, that's the beauty part. This is one of the things we liked about this was for those like Gearman and our fans overseas that listen to us, maybe you want to throw a question our way. I don't know.
It's going to be like 3 o'clock in the morning.
I didn't say he was going to listen, but he can watch later.
But he can't ask the question live.
No, but I mean, we're going to put it on Twitter. It's not going to be asked live. I mean, then you can ask ahead of time.
As you can tell, we're planning as we're recording this episode.
Something like that. But no, it'll be fun. I think it'll be good. It's our first time trying it. It'll be an interesting attempt. We were supposed to do a dry run last night with everything set up and the monitors and everything. And, well, you know what's the worst that can happen? We're just going to do it all live.
Oh, well. So.
If it fails, you better have a new AP to announce.
Sure, why not? I made up the other one on the fly.
Two-stroke cold fusion Mr. Blender? I don't know.
Oh, no. But the problem is only half of the power supply came in on that tractor trailer. And Brian said he couldn't find the other half.
That sounds about right.
So I can't announce that new AP because I only have half the power supply.
Happens.
Whatever.
Well. On that note, I think it's time for us to go get some food and some sleep.
Are restaurants still open at this time of day?
I don't know. I'm probably going to order fast food. I'm going to have to do some editing, and we will see you hopefully on Wednesday.
See you guys Wednesday.
If you want to contact the show directly, you can email us using the address ruckcast@comscope.com. To learn more about Ruckus products and services that we may have talked about on this or any other podcast, please check the links in the About section of the show.